Hello everyone, welcome back to Chibi and Chill, the anime podcast, and I'm your host Ryan. And in this podcast, it's all about anime. If you're a fan of Naruto, One Piece, Demon Slayer, all that good stuff, all the shows in between, from iconic ones to new ones, you're in the right place. I kind of realised that through the every episode that I end up doing, I've actually never introduced myself properly, apart from like the very early episodes. And if you're new, I'm just some random guy talking about anime online, and I am that anyway, but now I at least have a name if you're new. This week, I feel like, as I've kind of set up for this episode, I feel like I've actually got, if you're watching this on YouTube, you'll see quite a visual change, but there's a new bookcase that we got from IKEA, so the setup behind me is kind of fully set up, I guess, now, but the bookcase needs a lot more Funko Pops putting on there. It's got a lot more stuff to be added. Right now, it's got some spooky banners on there. Anyone that knows me knows I'm a big, big, big Halloween fan. I absolutely love all things spooky. I'm determining whether one of these shelves becomes actually like a spooky shelf, a spooky Funko shelf. I love a lot of horror films, especially the Conjuring series. Those are like my favorite ones. So I'm kind of determining. Yes, it's not anime, but it is media. It's pop culture, I guess. So maybe I have like one shelf for horror and like spooky Funkos. I think that might be a vibe. Maybe. Let's see. Oh, I'm so happy with the setup this week. So, and I hope you are as well. Whether you're new or returning, I hope you like it as well, because I do. I really do. So this week is all about spooky season anime recommendations. I said just a few moments ago that I am super, super into spooky season. I love the spooky vibe. I love ghosts. I love the aesthetic of ghosts. I love a ghost story. I love a horror film. Love a spooky anime. So this week is all about 13 anime. Of course, it had to be 13. 13 anime that I recommend you watch this spooky season. There are some ones on this list that I haven't watched that I want to watch as well. It's not only building your watch list, but it's building mine as well. Let's dive into the bucket list update for this week. So if you're newer to the podcast, there is a bucket list update. The poster is behind me. I'm going to try and scratch off all 100 anime on this list on the poster. So far, it's not very full. So far, it's not very full, but I'm trying to get it a lot more full. I am trying my best to get this as full as I can. So let's dive into the bucket list update for this week. So, from a bucket list point of view this week, I've actually made a lot more headway than I thought I would. I think I watched around 12 episodes of One Piece. So actually, I'm a little bit further into 10 now. I feel like with One Piece, because it's so large, at the same time, I'm also very conscious that there's so many other anime on this watch list that I need to kind of check out, an anime that I want to check out. And also, if you watched last week's episode or the episode before, there's an episode that is all about the new fall 2024 lineup, Fall Control. So I kind of started watching some of those as well. So do check that episode out if you want some fall recommendations for the new lineup, the new anime that's just come out. But as part of that, I did watch the first episode of Dan. That was awesome, actually. It gave me like Mob Psycho vibes with the animation, which was really fun. It takes a little bit of time to get into it from a visual point of view, but honestly, an awesome, awesome anime so far. I really loved the first episode, so I'm super, super excited for the second one. I've been watching a lot of Hunter x Hunter, a lot of One Piece, and also I did actually start Takusetsuketsu, the Fate of the Majority. Great. I am really enjoying that one. It's one of those where I really had to pay attention because of the rules and what's going on, because it's subtitled, so you really had to pay attention between the rules and what is actually being said. So a little bit of movements here or there. But this week is all about the 13 spooky anime recommendations for this week. So minor updates to the bucket list. So let's dive into the first recommendation for spooky season. So the first recommendation that I have for this week is honestly one that absolutely bowled me over. It was so, so good. And it is Erased. And it's not specifically spooky in the sense of ghosts or that kind of thing. It's not spooky in that sense. It's spooky in a more real life, kind of kidnap kind of sense. And it is so dark. If you're a fan of a darker anime, this should be right up your street. This one is all about a young boy called Satoru, or a young guy, and he's a manga artist, but he's struggling to make a name for himself after his initial debut manga, and he's kind of like struggling with his own kind of creative process, that kind of thing. But he kind of goes through his life, and he has this strange phenomena happen to him, where he kind of goes back in time, but not through a tech kind of sense. It doesn't go into machines step back. It kind of goes through a more spiritual reset, I guess. And time kind of sends him backwards to sort something out or to solve something. And this was honestly such a great mystery, thriller, dark anime. This was honestly so good. It did actually leave on a cliffhanger, so I am super excited to see if they're going to do a season 2 of Erased. So I'm super excited about this one. I really want a second season of Erased. If anyone's watching this, I don't know who watches this podcast, so if or listens to it. If anyone from the Erased team is watching this, please make a second season because it was so good. It was so good. The second one has the full spooky vibe, and I mean the pumpkins, the bats, the ghosts, the demony kind of, but all in that super cute spooky vibe. This one is Welcome to Demon School, Aruma-kun, and this one is one that I love having on in the background during spooky season, and I'm yet to finish the season of it. I dip in and out of it, and not because it's bad, and not because of anything like that, because I actually really like it. It's a really fun, silly show. But because it's a fun, silly show, I tend to dip into it more specifically during spooky season, not specifically during any just general watching, instead of watching Naruto, Demon Slayer, that kind of thing. It's more of a seasonal show that I'll indulge into. But it's all about Suzuki Aruma, a human who's 14, who one day finds himself taken against his will into the world of demons. To add to his predicament, his doting owner and self-appointed grandpa is the chair demon at his new school. In order to survive, Iruma must deal with a haughty student, and now I don't know what haughty means, but it deals with a student who challenged him to a duel, a girl with adjustment issues, and so many more scary beings. Can his ultimate pacifist dodge the slings and arrows that are flung his way as he struggles frantically? Iruma's innate kindness begins to win over his enemies. This one is super fun. It's got that really slightly cartoony, super over the top Halloween vibe to it, and I'm so here for that. I'm not gonna lie, that is the entire reason that I even started watching that show in the very first point. So I'm so here for that pure spooky vibe. The next one I've already actually mentioned, which is Dandadan. And Dandadan is one of the most hyped anime for this new fall season. It's literally got one episode at the time of this recording, and it was honestly a killer. It was so good. This one is all about when high schooler Momo, from a family of spirit mediums, first meets her classmate Okarun, an occult geek. They argue. Momo believes in ghosts but denies aliens, and Okarun believes in aliens but denies ghosts. They're kind of like the polar opposites of each other. When it turns out both paranoia are real, Momo awakens a hidden power and Okarun gains the power of a curse. Together, they must challenge the paranormal forces that threaten our world. This was such a good first episode. I was so kind of anxious about this one. This is one of the ones that I really wanted to be good, and it really stood up to what I wanted it to be. The animation is similar in style to Mob Psycho, One Punch Man. It's got that really distinctive style to it, which is great, and I think it really sets it apart from what we usually see in anime. And the story was great. It's a little bit cheeky. Well, it's quite a lot cheeky. It's a little bit rude. It's a little bit. It's a lot of fun. It's got that dark, spiritually spookiness to it. Oh, it's great. It is awesome. One episode of Dandadan, and I'm hooked. Do check this one out. This is probably one of my top recommendations for this kind of spooky season. So the fourth one I've already mentioned as well, which is is Takusetsu. I can't say it, but Fate of the Majority. It's Fate of Majority, and this one is all about the all of a sudden, from nowhere, this kind of computer screen appears on some user screens, and everyone that says yes or no to these questions kind of ends up unaliving or surviving. And it's kind of the majority of those answers. The majority of the votes actually ends up being unalived instead of surviving, like you kind of assume naturally would. It's a great mystery anime that I'm loving so far. I think I'm on episode 5 so far out of the 24, I believe there is. So, a great anime so far. One that I really have to concentrate on because of the rules. Um, and there's like these tokens, like privileges and special privileges. So you kind of have to really focus on what is going on with what privileges and what's happening where. But it's a great anime. I like the mystery. It's dark in a sense of the actual events that are taking place, and it's dark from the actual situation itself, not dark from a spiritual point of view or anything kind of occult, but definitely one to check out if you want a dark, thrillery, mystery kind of ride with your anime. Hello everyone, I just thought I'd pop in here real quick just to tell you all about Crunchyroll. And Crunchyroll is my favourite platform to stream all the anime that I watch, including Naruto, One Piece, Attack on Titan, Black Clover, and a whole host more, all of which I'm probably talking about in this episode. Down in the show notes and in the description, you'll find a link to start a free trial where you'll be able to browse a whole host of thousands of anime, discover, and love. So the next one on my list is actually one that I've wanted to watch for a long time and I've not yet. But it's called Occult Civil Servants, and I'm not gonna lie, this one was added to my watch list just because it said occult on it. So, but it looks good. The poster looks great. So this one is all about when Mayako Arata joins the Shinjuku ward office. He thinks he's gotten a normal civil servant job, but it turns out he's joined the night community exchange department, one of which operates secretly in each of Tokyo's 23 ward offices. This one looks really, really cool. The poster for this one sold it to me, if I'm honest, and rather than that kind of very vague, kind of bland sounding description, if I'm honest, poster got me the kind of like it's kind of spiritually ghosty mystery kind of vibe to it. I'm all here for. So do check this one out. I don't have more on this one, if I'm honest, because it's not quite so high on my list, but great to check out if you want a kind of mix of ordinary world meets ghosts or meets occult creatures and meets mystery. The next one on this list I cannot recommend enough. I cannot stress this enough. Go watch Mob Psycho 100. This was on the bucket list poster a while ago, and it was one of the ones I was so aware of, but it's not one that I started ever watching. I wasn't drawn to it because, like, if I'm honest, I thought it was something completely different. But it is a perfect anime. It is so good. It is cheeky. It is funny. It is silly. It is dramatic. It's everything you want in anime. It's delivered in Mob Psycho 100. One is all about Kageyama Shigeo, aka Mob, who is a boy who has trouble expressing himself, but who happens to be a powerful esper, so like a medium. Mob is determined to live a normal life and keep his ESP suppressed, but when his emotions surge to a level of 100, something terrible happens to him. No spoilers. But as he's surrounded by false espers, evil spirits, and mysterious organizations, what will Mob think? What choices will he make? And the anime is based on the original story by One, which is the guy that kind of creates the Mob Psycho 100 and One Punch Man. So both of them having the one, kind of giving the one name. So if you do want like One Punch Man, this should be your natural next step to check this one out. The next one is actually one of the newest ones that has or is about to release this week for the new fall 2024 lineup. And this one is on there because honestly, it sounds a lot of fun. This one is all about a terrified teacher at a ghoul school. This one is Harukai is happy to fulfill his dream being a teacher until he learns Ayaki Academy is full of monsters. This one gives me a similar vibe to Welcome to Demon School Arumakun, but it sounds visually it looks not quite so Halloweeny, but it looks just as fun. And I'm so here for a fun, spooky anime. I work 9 to 5, like every single day, Monday, Friday. So I need an anime in the background that I kind of can watch in the background without getting too distracted and not actually do the work I need to do. So this one is perfect for that kind of vibe if you're with me. So the next one is one that takes a much darker turn. This one is the Junji Ito collection. If you know of Junji Ito, you kind of mostly know his work, but Junji Ito is like Japan's Stephen King. He is like the king of Japanese horror in anime and manga, and it is so dark, so creepy, and it's really, really iconic. So this one is a collection of works, kind of anime adaptations of his work, and there are anime adaptations of really, really famous ones such as Tomi, Suichi, Fuchi, all the really big ones, and a lot of the other ones as well. There's quite a big collection, I believe it's 24, so I think quite a lot of them have been created, so a great set. I've only watched 2 of them so far, partly because, if I'm absolutely honest, I was a little bit I was a little bit too scared to watch them because they look so intense, but great. If you want a really dark anime, and I mean spooky, dark horror anime, this should be on your list.
The next one is one that is on my list, and it is one that again is part of the new fall 2024 lineup. Is Demon Lord 2099. This one is all about an ancient demon lord who arrives in future Shinjuku, aims to take over the land once more. So this one is like a reverse isekai where the creature comes into our world, not the reverse. And I'm all for a isekai slash reverse isekai, so I'm here for it, and yeah, I cannot wait for this one to come out actually. So number 10 on this list is Parasite. And Parasite is great if you're wanting a really iconic anime and iconic manga that people love and still love to this day. And it's one that's great if you're wanting more kind of like that body horror kind of vibe for your anime, one that's a lot darker from a body point of view. But it honestly, this anime was great. There was a lot more kind of emotion to it. There's a lot more the overarching story of where Azumi kind of struggles with what's going on, is kind of the events that happened around him and what the world is turning into and what is happening to it because of these aliens that have kind of appeared. So it's super super interesting, but it's kind of sci-fi, aliens, it's body horror, it's quite a few bits chucked in, and it's a little bit of a mystery. It's kind of all three of those chucked into one, but it makes it such an iconic and interesting anime. Do check this one out. It's a little bit gory in places from memory, but it's honestly, it's so so good. This was again, this was probably one of my next level, couple levels down, higher recommendations on this one. So we've got two more slightly dark ones, following on that kind of Junji Ito kind of vibe. So this one is Theatre of Darkness, Yami Shibai. This one is each week at dusk, a man in a yellow mask arrives at a nearby playground. Okay, that's first sentence alone. Creepy. Gather at his feet to listen and learn from the mysterious storyteller. He recounts tales of horror to his captive audience, each story darker and more sinister than the last. Drawing from traditional Japanese paper dramas, the stories weave myths, urban legends, and rumors from Japan's long history of haunting tales. This one intrigues me from a couple of different reasons. One, it's really dark, and I'm here for a dark kind of vibe. But it kind of intrigues me from the illustrations as well. They're very sketchy, they're very traditional looking, which kind of gives me a different kind of sense, and it kind of lets you dive into the episodes a lot in a different sense than it would a normal anime. I think it gives you a different connection to it, and it makes it a little bit more visually kind of shocking, I guess. But it grabs me from the Japan's long history of haunting tales. I kind of want to dive into the yokai, the different kind of folklore that happens, and the dark ones at that. So this one is right on my street. I'm anxious to start this one again because of how scary it could potentially be, but one that I'm really really here for. So this one is quite high up on my list, but high up on my list from the dark perspective. So last two. So we got the world Yamikuza. The world Yamizu. The world Yamizukan. There we go. This one is all about the world Yamizukan is a collection of various aspects of darkness that exist in our world, including UFOs, UMAs, ancient civilizations, ESPs, ghost encounters, who? Mysteries, parallel worlds, and urban legends. Whether they are fact or fiction, we will present this world in a picture card story type animation. So again, a little bit similar to the one before it. So it's similar in style, similar kind of vibe, different stories per episode, different kind of darkness. This one seems a lot more kind of varied, a lot more modern, I would say, from a story perspective. So if you kind of like the idea of the first one, but want something less traditional, check this one out. And my last recommendation is honestly, I think Erase was my favorite dark mystery, but Meiruko-Chan is my absolute favorite ghosts, ghouls, mystical, spiritual, dark anime. Meiruko-Chan is absolutely perfect, and I am itching. I'm itching for a season two. This one is all about a girl, Meiruko-Chan, who can see dead people. She just chooses to ignore them. That's Miruko's plan anyway, with horrifying and sometimes hilarious results. This one is a mix of areas of comedy, but also there are those kind of, I want to say jump scares, but they're not quite jump scares, but they are at the same time. They're
screen will pan and there'll be a giant demon or a giant ghost or a giant demon kind of ghost thing there, or she'll kind of be on her phone and something will happen and it makes you jump. It literally makes you jump. This is one of the best spooky anime I've ever watched, and I might actually rewatch it just because of that this spooky season. It is so, so good. This one is my top spooky recommendation for this season. It's not a new anime, but it's one that I feel a lot of people haven't heard of. And granted, I haven't either. It was literally because I searched spooky anime one day on Crunchyroll, and that was one that came up, and I liked the poster. But definitely do check one out if you want that kind of ghosty, ghoul, kind of, take like a horror film, make it anime, and add a little bit of comedy in there. That's Meiruko-Chan. It is perfect. So that was this week's spooky recommendations, 13 recommendations. So there's quite a chunk of anime for you to be checking out on that list. But let me know what kind of vibe you're going to go down. There's quite a different kind of variety of episodes in there. There's mystery, there's more comedy kind of vibes, there's dark, truly dark. There's, I've already said mystery. There's mystery again, in case I haven't said it already. But there's ghosts and ghouls in that as well. There's everything for everyone's kind of specific vibe of Halloween for spooky season. So let me know what your top recommendation will be. I can't wait to start some of the new ones I've already mentioned in this episode for fall. So I'm actually really excited to start some of those, especially the spooky teacher one. That sounds really fun. Cannot wait. Let me know what your top recommendations were. If you've enjoyed this episode, please do give the show a rating and a review on whatever platform you're listening to this on or watching this on. If you're watching this on YouTube, please do it. It costs nothing and it takes literal seconds, but it really supports the show and the content that I am making here. Thank you so much for joining me for today's episode of Chibi and Chill, the anime podcast. I'll see you next week for more spooky content. Don't know what it'll be yet, but let's see. Maybe a villains episode, like everyone's top villains from anime. But let's dive into anime. Enjoy your week of anime watching, whatever it may be. Hopefully it's one of these spooky anime episodes. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next week. I've been Ryan, your host. Bye bye.